Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Watch. Okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
Welcome everyone to the Smack Raw Podcast NXT recap episode. I am your host, as always, S.E.S. Vince, and joined with me today, I have the Kyle O'Reilly to my Bobby Fish, Miss Katie Baby. How are you doing, Katie?
I'm tired as all hell, but I'm here.
Are you as tired as Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa, Finn Balor, and Johnny Gargano after that 1 hour Iron Man match?
Honestly, I might be.
That's okay. We're also joined today by one of the OGs, returning forefather of the show, the phenomenal one, the big boss man of podcasting, the AJ Styles of podcasting, wrestling sports, Sebastian. How are you doing?
What's up, guys?
Not
very good. My TV's on Sports Center, and I don't know if anybody follows baseball, but I just saw that my Reds got the fuck beat out of them today, so I'm not very happy with this race.
That's okay, man. That's okay.
16-2. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fucking crazy.
I am extremely happy because I have two of my favorite people on the show, and I'm not just saying that because you guys are on the show. You guys are genuinely one of my favorite people to talk wrestling with. If you're joining,
you do gotta put me over.
I always put you over. And speaking of putting you over, you should check out the Standing Streamer on Twitch channel right here. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can be notified whenever we go live or whenever it goes live with his show, Putting You Over. Go ahead and do that. We are the exclusive wrestling recap podcast of WrestlingNewsWorld.com. It is an awesome website featuring very talented writers and other podcasts as well. Make sure to bookmark their page and maybe even check out their premium content as well. If you miss a show, you can always find us on youtube.com/SmackRaw Podcast. Also, the audio version of the show is pretty much everywhere you can listen to all your audio podcasts. On top of that, you should go ahead and support us on Patreon. Yes, you can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share all our content, but also head over at patreon.com. See right there, that Smack Raw Podcast t-shirt. That could be yours. And above all that, not only that, you get these amazing sticker packs for only $5 and the $5 tier. If you subscribe to the $1 tier, you get early access to all our video content. Again, $10 tier gives you all that stuff, but the $25 tier gives you the t-shirt and also goes ahead and gives you like free advertisement. If you're an up-and-coming content creator just like ourselves, for a limited time, we'll plug your stuff on the show. So that's some fun stuff we got going on. But we also have a fun show to talk about tonight, guys. Overall, like in a nutshell, how do you guys feel about NXT Super Tuesday? Anyone?
I wasn't as happy as I thought I'd be.
Okay. Explain.
Just the main event. Which, what can you do? It's on TV, so of course you have commercials. But when you have a 1 hour Iron Man match and commercials fuck up half of it, kind of hurts it. And then, of course, we sat there for an hour and didn't really get a finish. So,
I mean, we got a finish, just not a very good one, I guess.
Kind of. I mean, nobody walked out with that title, and that's what they've been promising all week. That's all I'm saying.
Wally the Green Monster, by the way, great handle, says they got us good. Same bad time, same bad channel. So next week, for next week Tuesday, they got us for like Cole versus Finn Balor to crown the true champion.
And really, NXT is kind of repetitive with that. They like throwing the hooks in there, so I kind of figured it may happen, but I was hoping not. So
gotcha. Okay, cool. So let's start off with the show. Well, actually, hold up, Katie. We didn't actually get your thoughts. How do you feel about tonight's show?
I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't my favorite. I mean, I do like that NXT's hopping on Tuesdays for a little bit, so I get to watch it live again.
Right. That's good.
But I mean, it was okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's fair. It's fair because they really try to squeeze in a lot of action in the first 50 minutes of the show, and then let the entire main event breathe for like an hour and 10. Like they really let it breathe, and it was good. But we'll get more into the main event once we get to that point of the show. Let's start off with what actually opened Super Tuesday: the 6-man street fight between Legado del Fantasma versus Breezango and Swerve. Sebastian, I'm gonna start things off with you, man. Because I haven't talked to you in a minute, and quite frankly, I miss you, man. I miss talking wrestling with you. So, what do you make of Legado, and like what do you make of this match and this pairing against Breezango and Swerve?
I wasn't a fan of the match. To me, I always harp on AEW for over spotting a match, I guess. And I feel like they kind of did that with this match. And then we had the interference. So to me, it was all overbooked. And that was kind of a theme throughout the night. You also had interference later in the night. So 4 matches, 2 run-ins. So for me, I wasn't too pleased with it.
Gotcha. Katie, how about you?
I mean, it just seemed like it was over so quick. I mean, I understandably so. Like they had to fit like 4 matches in 50 minutes. The only thing I did like was the spot when I think it was Fandango and Scott just jump off the fucking forklift.
Yes.
Which I didn't even see over there. So, I mean, that was cool. But, I mean, the match was okay.
What do you guys make of the interference of Imperium showing up? I was so certain that they were going to drop the titles and then just move on to NXT UK since it was being relaunched. I was surprised to actually see them tonight. Yeah,
that'll probably be flip-flopping. I'd say they'll have a couple people kind of do that now. Travel might be open a little more. They're not the same without Walter, though.
Yeah.
I miss Walter.
For sure. Yeah, because he's basically the heart and soul of that faction. Like, he really is the one that makes everything tick with Imperium. And nothing to take against, like, Fabian Eichner and Marcellus Bartel. They're both really good wrestlers. It's just, you really come for Walter, you stay for Imperium. I feel like that's the situation with that group. And but overall in this match, what I saw of it, I liked some of the action there. I liked the forklift spot. I thought it was really, really good. Fandango continues to impress and show off that he's not just a great dancer and a man of swiveling hips. He is also a tremendous athlete. And honestly, I don't think I even said it that much, but I really do appreciate that Fandango and Tyler Breeze finally got a title. They've never won the title. We talked about it on last week's recap. They're finally champions on WWE. I'm really happy for it. Also, quick shout out to TC Fontaine, who's in the chat. He says, "Hey, ho ho." Quick shout out to the Miz and Morrison. Hey, ho ho. So, Katie, how did this match finish?
Honestly, I don't remember what happened, but Scott ended up picking up the win. He pinned Escobar.
Yeah, he had his finisher, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Was it his finisher?
I believe so.
Probably.
Okay. And the thing that I took away from this is that Swerve and Santos Escobar are still going to continue that feud going forward with that program for the Cruiserweight title, just because, you already last week with the whole mask spot where he clearly had some kind of foreign object inside of the mask. And I don't know if you guys caught the tweet, but they asked him what was in that mask, and it was Legacy was in that mask. That's why I knocked him out. Something along those lines, something very condescending and very on par with the character of Santos Escobar. I love this. I love the results of it. I like the pairing of Swerve and Escobar. Give me more matches of them. Maybe they'll do a triple threat match with Legado, Breezango, and Imperium. Maybe this is just an excuse to have Breezango cross over for an NXT UK takeover and defend the titles against Imperium over there. So maybe that's what we're doing over there. D-Rod says Kyle fears D-Rod. # 5 fears D-Rod. And also shout out to D-Rod. I don't care what they say to you in the chat, man. We love you here on NXT. Moving on, though, we had Candace Larae taking on Casey Canzero who looks like solidified a tag team with Kaden Carter. They had like a very coordinated tag team entrance. They had like a tag team Titantron almost. I'm all for them being a tag team. I think their name they kind of like gave themselves unofficially was KC Express, or like KC something, Team KC or something, because that's their like initials. So KC Express.
Oh, see, I thought they were Team Ninja, but I could be wrong.
I'm all for Team Ninja too. So Candice LeRae picked up the victory here. No surprise, honestly. It's Candice LeRae. She's one of the bigger stars in that women's division. I like Casey, but she's not up there. But after the match is the big point here for me. She got on the mic and was addressing the whole Tegan Nox situation. Katie, what you make of the promo and the context of the promo?
I can't wait.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Ladies first.
Oh, see, it's so much better working with him than Kevin.
Yeah, man, fuck Kevin.
I'm just gonna throw that out there real quick. Anyways, I don't know if it was just my TV, but I couldn't really hear Candace. Like, it sounded like she was too far away from the mic or something.
She was.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. Okay. But basically she saw like the friendship with Casey and Kaden, and she was like, oh, that reminds me of Tegan and myself. And then she basically invites Tegan over. She said, dinner's on me, come to my house. Because Tegan said in her promo earlier that she just wants to hash it out over like a glass of wine or something.
Yeah. Sebastian, what were you going to add?
I can't wait to see him brawl in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, is this a new...
That was always my...
Is this going to be a new House of Horrors match?
Shit.
Can we please get a House of Horrors match?
Shit.
I want to see a House of Horrors match between these two women. That's what I want to see.
Like back in the day, when Randy Orton and Triple H brawl all across the house, that's my shit.
Oh, that's how Tegan should arrive. Just like Triple H with like the leather jacket and like the sledgehammer, getting ready to toss Candace through the window.
I want to see
awesome.
somebody go out the window. Yes.
Oh, and you know
that's
what?
What I want to see when AJ and Samoa Joe had that little feud and brought in the family. I was hoping for that.
Oh,
so,
yeah. We didn't get it. So hopefully we get it here. Also, too, I would also love like chicken shit heel Johnny Gargano to show up in there. I'm like, no, stop it. And gets his ass whooped, too, by Tegan for a second there. That's what I want to see. Yeah, but no.
Throw him down the basement stairs and lock the door.
Yes, actually do that spot where they toss him down the basement stairs and they lock the door and they actually brawl inside of the house. Do that spot. Honestly, they could probably redo that House of Horrors match. That's what they should do. They actually should do that House of Horrors match justice. I think Candace should have like the white tank top with the jeans. Just solidify this whole thing. Just do it. House of Horrors Part 2 with Candace and Tegan Nox. I like this context, but Matt Ritter from the SmackDown Raw podcast tweeted out, why would you accept a dinner invitation by someone with poison in their like name, because she's the poison pixie? Why would you accept a dinner reservation or like a dinner invitation to that? It makes no sense. Don't do that, Tegan.
I saw that tweet, but I couldn't remember who tweeted it, so thank you for reminding me.
It was Matt. Shout out to Matt Ritter
smart man
from SmackDown Raw. No relation. The third match of the night saw Thick Boy Bronson Reed, or did they changed his name right to the Colossal Bronson Reed or something along those lines? Because Arn went ahead and tweeted me and Matt saying no more Thick Boy. So I guess like they dropped the whole Thick Boy moniker, but he was facing off against Timothy Thatcher. I honestly thought Bronson Reed was going to pick up the victory here. I'm like, what did you think of this, Sebastian?
That was the second run in for tonight. Again, wasn't a fan. Thatcher gets the win with the armbar. I mean, not to get into, the shit that's been going on, but I thought it was kind of soon to bring Austin back. So it's just,
What about you, Katie?
I gotta agree. Like, I was dead certain. Like, I haven't been watching NXT a whole lot, but when I catch it, like, I was certain Bronson Reed was gonna win. But after his like brief interaction with Austin Theory last week, I'm not surprised. Austin Theory came out like a little bitch, attacked him from behind, and then literally ran away like a child.
Right.
Not a fan.
Yeah, because actually going into this whole thing, I actually forgot all about Austin Theory. Like, I forgot he was a thing because he just randomly spawned like a shiny Pokemon. Like when you're just minding your own business and you're not trying to like find anyone, you don't have no Pokeballs. You got like maybe like 3 Pokeballs, a Great Ball, and just 1 Ultra Ball, and you're like, I am totally fucked. I cannot catch this shiny Meowth. How I'm gonna get through this, I don't know. So. That's kind of how this felt like. It was just a random spawn by Austin Theory and then just went about his way. So it looks like that's where they're transitioning this whole thing. Again, not going into specifics, but you know, I'm still not 100% behind Theory being on TV, but we'll just leave it at that. Before we get into the main event though, we have a setup for next week's match. We had Rhea Ripley basically challenging Mercedes to a cage match. And then Mercedes later on the show accepted. So next week, we're going to have a cage match between Mercedes Martinez and Rhea Ripley. Guys, whoever wants to go first here. For one, are you excited for this match? And 2, what's your predictions for this?
I mean, I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. It should be good. I feel like NXT's kind of went to the cage match a lot lately.
Yes.
I remember that one week they had two on the same episode.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I would have preferred just an over stipulation.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But other than that, it should be good.
Kid?
I'm excited just because these are 2 of, like, the biggest women in NXT right now. Like, badass, like, will rip your throat out type women. And I fucking love that. So seeing them in a cage is going to be amazing.
I am all for this. I think the combination of Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez could be very magical. I think it's going to be a really grueling physical match between the 2. And Mercedes can go, and so can Rhea. I think this is a perfect environment. Unfortunately, I think it's one of those, they fall into the main roster trope where they just do too many of the similar stipulations, and when a match actually warrants the cage match, now it kind of feels like, oh, again? You're doing this again? Kind of like, I feel like we've had this conversation last year with Hell in a Cell, Sebastian, where they had like 2 or 3 Hell in a Cell matches. Or I think that at one point they had like 3 elimination chambers and 1 elimination chamber pay-per-view. So it's like oversaturation is what's happening here with NXT. They need to dial it back. This kind of feels like Teddy Long SmackDown, where he just do random cage matches on the Friday or Thursday nights. That's what this feels like. I think William Regal needs to cut back on the cage matches. Maybe throw a little bit more street fights in there. I don't know. Maybe do a House of Horrors match with Candace and Tegan Nox.
You win this fucking House of Horrors.
I want to see it again. God damn it, I want to see it.
Clearly.
Predictions for this match. Who do you think will walk away with victorious?
Rhea.
Rhea.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Gonzalez is going to get involved in some way, shape, or form and possibly cost her. But I want Rhea.
I am actually going with what you just said, Katie. I think it's definitely going to be. Mercedes that picks up the victory here and gets that momentum. She just recently debuted. She's like the face of Robert Stone brand. You need to establish her, and she could slowly be built up in that women's division to be a contender for Io's title. Given that I feel Io doesn't really have a clear-cut challenger lined up for her anytime soon, and we still haven't seen the payoff between the face-off of Raquel Gonzalez and Rhea Ripley. So I really do think that's going to happen. Gonzalez is going to come in. Since it is a cage match, it's supposed to keep people outside. But if we know anything about wrestling, the cage matches actually draw more people inside of it. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think Mercedes picks up the victory via help by Raquel Gonzalez. And lastly, we have our main event. But before we get into the main event, I just want to remind our Patreons, if you're not already a Patreon to SmackRaw Podcast, what are you doing? Go ahead, head over to patreon.com/SmackRaw Podcast. And if you are a patron, and you signed up in the month of August, you will be having your sticker packs and t-shirts sent out to you this week. And also keep an eye on your DMs so we can get your shipping information. So if you're a patron, you want one of these SmackRaw Podcast t-shirts, you also have a variety. You can actually choose what color you want and then the outline of the ring of the logo. So go ahead and check that out. Keep your DMs open for the SmackRaw Podcast. It's probably going to be Kyle. It's always Kyle running that shit. But shout out to Kyle. He puts in a lot of good
Shout
work.
out to
He's a
Kyle.
great man. He's probably sleeping
Hell yeah,
right now, but shout out to Kyle. With that being said, he is one of the cornerstones of the SmackDown podcast, and we had the 4 cornerstones of NXT wrestling in our main events: Finn Balor, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, baby. He's no kitty, but he's still he's still pretty good. Did you guys catch that line that Wade Barrett said about Adam Cole? How he's his pick because he's a guy that wears a black armband with yellow on it and says "boom," and that's actually stuff that he's done in the past, making a nod to his Nexus days and back in the day where he used to do like the elbow and say "boom." So. Like I don't know.
I didn't catch that at all.
I caught that. I
Oh,
caught
okay.
that. So I felt like that kind of popped me because I was actually listening to that. I actually rewatched the start of the match and the ending of the match just because I really wanted to get like a clear mindset of the match and have it fresh in my mind before we went on the show. I popped hard. Did you catch that, Sebastian?
No, I didn't catch it.
Oh my gosh, go back and watch it. Literally when he does Adam Cole's entrance, just go back and watch Adam Cole's entrance. You will see that. Okay. Main events. It went a whole hour. If you can include entrances, again, an hour and 10 minutes. We didn't have a conclusive winner, but we kind of already knew this was happening. Wrestle Votes tweeted out like 2 possible spoilers for the match. Then there were multiple reports saying that it was going to end the way it did, with 2 of the competitors ending with similar scores, setting up a final sudden death match for next
I
week.
stayed off Twitter, so I was unspoiled.
I didn't see jack shit spoilers.
You didn't.
So...
I
No.
have Wrestle Votes notifications turned on, so I saw that tweet and I was reading it and I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have them like notifications on.
But we're a wrestling podcast, and we're trying to have breaking news, and he's my source. Damn it, he's my source.
ruins
No, but honestly, I didn't know he was going to spoil the match. It didn't spoil the match for me. I still enjoyed it because you still didn't know who were going to be the final 2 men that were going to be in the tiebreaker situation. And honestly, that kind of made sense given that NXT was going to be on Tuesday next week again. It gives you even more of a reason to tune in. They've given us 2 matches for next week: the cage match and that match. Is it the best way to finish this Fatal 4-Way match? Probably not. Would I book this? Probably, because I'm a dick. I would probably book this finish. I enjoyed it. I got a kick out of it. Honestly, I knew people were gonna be up in arms about this finish, and that kind of like tickled me a little bit more. It's like I know so many people are gonna trash this shit, and I just
That wasn't
enjoyed
my only problem. Like I had a few problems with
Okay,
that.
before we dissect the match, I want to pay attention to the chat because Y2 Garcia. The only thing about the main event that really confused me is why they made a new match for next week when there were ties at the end of Iron Man matches like Hart and Michaels and Banks versus Flair that had sudden death rules. Next fall determines the winner. See,
That's what I thought was gonna happen too.
here's the thing.
Oh,
You're
here we go.
100% correct. 100% correct. But they needed to bullshit their way into having another main event for next week. That's what happened. There's no explanation for it. Kayfabe wise, there's no explanation for it. If you want reality, time ran out. They had like 2 minutes before the show.
That's how you know wrestling is scripted when shit like that.
And you know what? Shout out to Rob.
Right at 10, we can't have overtime.
Shout out to Rob because that's how he found out wrestling that kayfabe was dead. That wrestling wasn't real. He always tells this story about when he knew that wrestling was fake was when his mom told him like, you know that's fake, right? And then Rob's like, what? No, it's not fake. I'm like, well then how do they know when the show's gonna end? Like how do they know when the match is gonna end right before the show ends, huh? And then ever since then, like it was ruined for him, but he still enjoys wrestling. He always tells that story. So whenever like we talk about stuff like this, I always think about Rob. And also, this is just my way of giving a shout out to Rob because I love Rob and I miss everybody on the show. I'm being very sappy.
You're shouting out everyone. Damn.
Shout out to Jay Thunder and Arn, my 2 co-hosts of SmackDown NXT. We are the Holy Trinity of NXT. We've been broken up for the last couple of weeks, but the Holy Trinity will be back soon and better than ever. Let's get into this match. This kind of felt to me like a fatal 4-way match you set up with your friends in 2K and just start like bullshitting around, and then you guys all like two of you guys get a finish, and you're like, okay, let's get Sebastian to get a finish so he can tie. Oh, okay, let's let Vince get the finish so we're all like in sudden death. And then the finish, obviously, it was what it was. We talked about this before the recording, Katie. The ending sequence was very good. The air raid crash from the top rope to Gargano, and as Ciampa is still prone on the ground, he gets hit with the coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor gets up with like 8 seconds left. He gets hit with the last shot by Adam Cole, and I tell you, this man struggled harder than me back in high school to get a girlfriend. He struggled more than young high school Vince. And he finally turned him over because like he did two things. He tried to like turn him this way, and then it wasn't working, so he readjusted and he started pushing him forward, and he got into the cover, and like you said, who was it? Mike Chioda?
No, I think it was Drake. I don't know his last name. But he's like usually the main event ref.
Yeah.
He counted fast.
He counted fast because at that point it was like 2, and he's like,
there was
3, 2, 1, and then he's like, boom, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
They got it.
They needed 2 more seconds for him to be able to count on time.
Yeah.
Now I was like, there's 2 seconds left. This doesn't fucking make sense.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
But I let it happen.
Honestly, I was just really just waiting for like one of those Dragon Ball Z like and that episode's quotes. It's like, who will Adam Cole be crowned the NXT champion? It's Finn Balor the true NXT champion? What's gonna happen to Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano? Find out on the next thrilling episode of NXT. And then they start playing like the dramatic music at the end, and it's just literally just them staring at each other with like wind blowing. I was expecting some dramatic Dragon Ball Z finish to the whole thing. It was because it was funny. I'm sorry, I laughed at the ending. It was funny, but overall, we can dissect the match. What were your favorite parts of the match? Whoever wants to go first can go ahead and jump in.
Go ahead, Sebastian.
I don't really have a spot. I just really didn't enjoy the match that much.
What?
Really
Sebastian, you're really like bumming me out, man. I love you.
I'm sorry.
I love you, man. But you're out here bumming me.
They bring 4 heels in here. First of all, okay.
Okay. Sebastian,
there's no shenanigans. Okay, that's bullshit. No DQ, and you're telling me Tommaso Ciampa don't want to go get a chair? Bullshit. He should bust somebody's head. Okay, that's 1. 2, at the finish, classic WWE 50-50 booking. You could have had Johnny standing behind Finn or something like that for that finish instead of pinning Finn 10 seconds after he got a fall himself. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it. I really didn't.
I mean, that was an issue that we actually
and commercials.
Noticed.
Jesus Christ, commercials.
Fair.
I mean, yeah. I missed half the match.
That's true. I mean, we talked about it last week where the fact that all 3 of them were heels going into it, and then I don't know who the hell was trying to make the case. I don't know if this was an interaction I was having on Twitter, if it was on the show. That's how old I'm getting, and I'm only 28, but I feel like I'm already deteriorating into my old senile age. But I could have sworn someone tried to make a case that Finn Balor is a tweener, but no, they're all supposed to be heels. You just sat, yeah. What about you, Katie? What? You have any spots that you really enjoyed about this match, or like other than the ending? Because I really loved the ending. I thought the ending was A1. I don't care what Sebastian says.
Before I get into what I liked, I was so fucking sick and tired of seeing a picture-in-picture. I bitched about it on the AEW recap last week during the main event. I feel like they did a fucking commercial every 5 minutes. I was getting so pissed off. I am literally the type of person, I'm not going to focus on something this fucking big in the corner of my TV. I was on my phone during the picture-in-picture. I was like, I hope I don't miss something important. Like, the shit pisses me off. They did it during Dynamite last week, and NXT fucked me over this week. I'm mad.
And you know what? To that point, Katie, I feel like I do that regardless of the picture-in-picture. I mean, there are times, unless I'm doing like a recap, like let's say I'm watching Raw or I'm watching SmackDown or I'm rewatching the replay of Dynamite, or I'm just watching on the network. Even I'll go intentionally watch stuff on like Netflix, Hulu, or the network, and then just start like dicking
Yep.
around with my phone, and then I look up and I've missed like 5 minutes of whatever the fuck it is that I was watching, and it's like, what the fuck? Then I have to go back, rewind the last 5 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and do the same shit. I'll do it like 2 or 3 times before I go ahead and actually just, okay, you know what? Let me focus. So picture in picture is actually worse. At the fact that I was working the last like hour of the show didn't really help much, but I don't know. Like I said, the best comparison to this was 4 friends playing WWE 2K online and just having a bonkers match and just hitting all their moves and just having a good fun wrestling match for shits and giggles. I felt like I had to, because Katie's handle on Twitter is wrestling with a W, and Sebastian's handle on Twitter is wrestling with an R. So I got the 2 wrestling like the people on the show. So I kind of had to throw that in there. But do you have any favorite spots of the match, Katie? Other than the picture in picture.
We're not gonna talk. Savannah in the chat said Katie is triggered, and I couldn't
Oh no!
help but laugh. It's true.
Katie was frozen for a second.
Oh, she was gone.
I was like, oh shit.
I'm too tired for this shit. I need it to work.
You know what?
Oh my god.
That might be a t-shirt. Katie's trigger. that might be a t-shirt.
I'll even make it.
Oh, hold up. It says I have a network error. We might not be live on the chat anymore. Regardless, though, we're gonna push through on the recap because we've already started. It
still says we're live on my chat.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna go with whatever it says on your stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
But I mean, I did like the little spots they were doing, bringing back like previous storytelling. So anytime Ciampa and Johnny were in the ring, like you could see Ciampa just get like pissed. Like start throwing Gargano around, which I love to see. And they all all 4 of them have such interesting and cool like history. Like, can we talk about the 2 Sweet?
I forgot about the 2 Sweet. Oh, and it's funny.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I literally made it the thumbnail of the fucking recap before I even like set everything up. I was still at work. I saw that picture. I'm like, that's the fucking thumbnail. I popped hard for the 2 Sweet, the like little homage to both of them being Bullet Club, even though they weren't like Bullet Club at the same time. They were both like alumni of Bullet Club, and I thought that was so good. There were so many like little like Easter eggs if you followed these guys' career. Like, that's one good thing about the match. I'm actually going to go back and watch it and, like, actually fast forward through the commercials and see if that helps me enjoy the match a little bit better. Or just wait till it's on the network and then watch it from start to finish with no commercial breaks and see if that helps me enjoy the match a little bit better, because the commercial breaks are taking me out of it. That's a big issue about having these kind of TV pay-per-view level matches on TV, is you run into the fact that you might go ahead and just like lose momentum of the match with the commercial breaks. But
yeah, that shit was pissing me off.
Yeah. So like what we said with the finish, Balor got the win 1-2-3 after basically Tommaso Ciampa took out Johnny Gargano. Finn hits Ciampa, gets the pin. Then Cole came in with the last shot, barely tied it. Man, I feel like he wasn't supposed to struggle, and there was going to be like a second or 2 left on the clock, and then that was how it ended. Or maybe they do like a spot where like there's like 3 seconds left, and then Cole tries to like put his arm over Finn again, and then he just isn't able to like get the final pin. Maybe they could have done something more dramatic than that, but I mean, I enjoyed the finish. I don't care what Sebastian says. I enjoyed the finish. I love you, Sebastian, though, but
it wasn't for me.
It wasn't. You know what? It isn't for everyone. Maybe.
It's okay.
Maybe this is something we're gonna have to dissect a couple of years down the line and actually like look back at it, and see if the finish was really good. Maybe this is gonna lead into like an even better match next week. This is where the actual good match with the clean, decisive finish is gonna happen, because next week, like I said, Finn Balor versus Adam Cole. The winner becomes the new NXT champion. One fall to the finish.
Like a double count out.
Stop putting that energy out there, Sebastian. Why?
Just say.
Stop it. You're
Just say.
You're trying to troll this show, man, and I don't appreciate it. I like how he's so calm and collected while he does it. It's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and like basically like fuck up Vince, and then let me drink my Pepsi. You know,
Retribution's gonna come out and turn the power out on NXT. It's gonna be great.
Stop it. Well, according to like if reports are to be believed, Retribution is going to be exclusive to Raw going forward. So maybe that's not the case. Before we sign out and finish things off in a high note, predictions for next week. Who's going to walk away as the new NXT champion? Is it going to be Finn Balor? Finn? Is that who you got, Sebastian? Okay. Do you have a reason as to why it's Finn?
Just makes most sense to me. Adam Cole just lost it. Finn's been on a roll. Hasn't. I mean, he's still in the leader in Takeover wins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's just on a roll. It makes more sense to put it on him.
Katie? This is tough because one of them has your gimmick and the other one is a really cool dude with amazing abs.
True. I think it's gonna be Finn.
Mm-hmm.
It just, like Sebastian really said it, like it makes the most sense. Adam did just lose it.
Right.
I mean, as much as I want Adam to be champion again, it's gonna be Balor.
Right. Okay.
And Finn hasn't really had I mean, he's won matches, don't get me wrong, but nothing's really set apart from the rest of them, I don't think. So it would make it this NXT movie feel worth it to me if he did get a title run out of it.
So Maddie in the chat actually says she loves both Finn and Adam, so it doesn't matter who wins to her. So Maddie's like, I don't care who wins. Maddie wins at the end of the day. I love that attitude, Maddie. That's how we should go ahead and go with this. Just like, doesn't matter. They're both great. I think Finn is taking this.
Sebastian's gonna be very angry when there's a draw.
If there's a draw, I will give you $5. Give me your Cash App, Sebastian. I will send you $5 if there's a draw. Okay? Just because if you call it, man, I will give you $5 just because you've earned it. You've earned those $5 from my pocket or my Cash App, to be more precise.
Okay.
So,
when is the next Takeover?
it's not going to be until like the fall. I think it was supposed to be like November-ish. Maybe.
Oh, well, maybe it won't be a double count out there. If it was going to be soon, it was definitely going to be a double count.
Okay, for sure. With my prediction then, before we sign off, I also agree with you guys. I think it's going to be Finn Balor, but I also think it should be Finn Balor because I think he needs it the most. There was a case to be made for Johnny and Tommaso Ciampa last week when we were doing the predictions for the Fatal 4-Way. To me, I kept saying Adam Cole is the last guy on my on my tier list of who I want to see win that match, and now it's solidified for me as Balor. He needs to win because yes, he's still undefeated at Takeover, but he hasn't really accomplished much of anything in NXT. He's changed his attitude. He's flipped between being a straight up heel and a tweener. We still haven't gotten that match with Walter. We still might get that match with Walter. NXT champion versus NXT UK champion. Now it's an even bigger deal. You can still do that match, and now it's champion versus champion. You could go ahead and maybe you could do that at Survivor Series if they go ahead and do that, or the Takeover before Survivor Series. So you can go ahead and do that.
The NXT UK Takeover whenever they do that.
Mm-hmm. They can definitely do that as well. So there's options there, but Finn needs this win. It's funny to say how the oldest guy here and the guy that's been in NXT probably longer is the guy that feels like the freshest guy as the champion. But I think it should be Finn. And not only do I think he should win, I think he should also kind of like revitalize or somehow bring back the Balor Club. Kind of like do Bullet Club 2.0. But for really lean into it. Let him be like the real rock and roller he was in New Japan. And I keep saying this all the goddamn time. If they weren't injured or weren't already previously associated with Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy, I would say bring AOP, let them be their heavy for Finn, and then you add another guy in there. So, I don't know. I just really want Finn to have nice things because he's a pretty swell dude. He too sweeted me once, and ever since then, I love them to no end.
What?
So, funny story. We were gonna have like an NXT live show here in Chicago, and it was being postponed because the venue people didn't have the information of when the show was actually going to start because there was a 7:30 show. But because tickets sold so fast, they scheduled like an afternoon show, like around 10 or like 11 o'clock, like a morning show that would go into the afternoon. Apparently, nobody told the staff that there was a second show in the morning, and nobody was there. No security, no nothing. Nothing was really set up. It was a shit show. There were fans lined up the entire building. Just imagine your high school building, your high school, people wrapped completely around it just to go into a wrestling show. In the middle of winter, it was freezing cold. I think it was below zero. Everybody was freezing. Finn Balor came out in nothing but like a bubble, like vest, like jacket, black shorts, and in compression pants underneath, and his running shoes. He's like, "Hey, sorry," like explaining the situation, and too sweet at anybody that wanted too sweet. So he went the entire fucking line as NXT champion and too sweet at everybody.
What a fucking guy.
What a fucking man. And he deserves to win the NXT title next week. And that's why.
Because of that.
Just because he did an amazing thing back in 2016 or 15 when he was NXT champion. So that's why if he comes back and wins the NXT title, he might too sweet me again. I feel like that's the algorithm for getting the Finn too sweet, is him being champion of NXT. So I'm going to go with that theory, okay? But with that being said, in a nutshell, though, I did enjoy the show. I'm going to give the show a solid B because it was okay for what it was. If you guys had to give it a letter grade, Sebastian, Katie, what would you give it?
A C.
I should have known.
I knew he was going to say C.
What would you give it, Katie? No. It's okay. Be completely honest. If you
I'll
don't,
give it like a B minus.
Okay, just right there in the middle. I love it.
Yeah.
4 matches, 2, run-in finishes, and then a finish I didn't like. So, yeah.
Fair enough, Sebastian. Fair enough. But regardless of the fact, I'm really glad that you joined us. You can obviously find him on Twitter at Wrestling.
Probably will join you next week too when we have the double count out. So.
Make sure to send you the invitation in the mail, okay? I'll have your invitation in the mail, okay? You can find Sebastian if you want all his hot takes. You can find them on Twitter at wrestling_sports. If you want to chat with Katie Baby, and trigger her some more, you can follow her at Katie Wrestling with a W13 on Twitter. You can follow me at SES Vince. You can follow the show at SmackDown Pod. Go ahead and check out all our audio content. Not only listen to it, follow it, download it, leave it a review if you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, hit the thumbs up, turn on the bell notifications so you know when a brand new video drops. Comment down below who you think is going to win next week on Super Tuesday. Stay tuned for the live chat. We will be coming back real quickly. If Sebastian has to sign off, he can sign off. But we'll catch you guys next week for more NXT. Later, y'all.
See you.